So we are going on a road trip from La Paz, Mexico, down to San Jose del Cabo. Come on along with us. The drive is about 2.5 hours long, but the road is great. It's a recently improved road. Most of the way it's 4 lanes with a big shoulder. Sometimes it's 2 lanes with a big shoulder, but it's a really safe road in terms of driving, and there's not really any problems there in terms of safety. So it's easy to go one direction or the other. And depending on which way you go, this is the way we went was along near Todos Santos. So you can stop. Todos Santos is about halfway between. I'm sure we'll have another video about Todos Santos soon. And it is about a 2.5-hour drive from San Jose del Cabo to La Paz if you take the toll road. Maybe another 20 minutes if you go along the coast along the not toll road. Now, San Jose del Cabo is one of 2 Cabos. So there is Los Cabos, which means the Cabos, and there is San Jose del Cabo, which is the historic Cabo, which is more cultural, and then there is Cabo San Lucas, which is more the party town. And we've been to both of them. We haven't spent much time in either, but definitely San Jose del Cabo is more our speed. Today we are coming in to do a farm tour and, of course, do a little shopping because Cabo or Los Cabos is where all the shops are. Things are definitely a little more expensive in Cabo, but there's a lot more opportunities here. So our first stop, right as we made it into San Jose del Cabo on the outskirts here, is stopping off to get a little bit of cash at the Banorte ATM. And also next door was a little bakery. So really cute stuff. The stuff in Cabo seems to be like there's better stuff here, but it's also more expensive compared to La Paz. La Paz is more of a Mexican town, and the Los Cabos is really geared towards probably wealthier Americans and Canadians. Of course, there are locals here, but it's really a lot of people from outside Mexico living here. So we arrived at Flora Farms just in time for our tour, a farm tour, and I was really surprised when my wife said she set up a farm tour. This is not what I expected at all. This place is gorgeous. It has restaurants and there's a place where you can get massages. There's a number of little shops. It's definitely catering to the higher end expat community here. There are a number of places you can live here too. There's a number of cottages, I think they call them. We might try to get a tour of that next time we're here, so I'll be sure to bring you along on that one too. This is a really cool place. Our guide, whose name was Jenny, which I asked her if that was common, and she said, yeah, kind of common, but she is from San Jose del Cabo. And I think San Jose del Cabo really has a much more American influence than, say, somewhere like La Paz, where there really isn't that much going on. Sorry, a little puppy or dog just walked by, not little by any means. But this place is really great. She took us on a tour and showed us hibiscus, and I even ate a Cosmo flower, which was a good antioxidant, maybe.
Is it delicious?
It's like a flower. Showed us papayas and mangoes and all the different things, and gave us a lot of the history of this place that started maybe in the 90s. Some Californians came here and started this as a little farm, added a restaurant, and just started to grow from there. And it's really just a very cool place. You got to check it out if you're in the San Jose del Cabo area. It's unique, and it's outside the city. So it seems like when it started, it was probably way outside the city. Now it's just a little ways down a gravel road. You can be here in probably, 15 minutes from San Jose del Cabo. So this is a farm built on kind of in an oasis. There's an arroyo with underground water. That's why it is able to be so lush here. And they do have a bunch of rescued animals too, including a number of dogs. They're just kind of wandering around, don't seem to really be all that interested in interacting with people. You can bring your dog here too if it's well-mannered and stays on a leash. After the farm tour and having seen the restaurant and the food that folks were eating, we decided we definitely need, or I guess I decided that we definitely needed to stay here for lunch, which gives Kat a little time to wander around and check out all of the plants. So I think we're going to be changing our trip a little bit. Originally planned on having lunch down on a beach, and I think we're going to be changing that up a little bit. So we'll have one less beach visit today during this journey to San Jose del Cabo. Everything here is just so gorgeous. Like, you park your car and then you hop into this area and it feels like you're in almost an island paradise. I saw actually some golf carts, so maybe that's the way that folks get around here. Getting lunch here was definitely the right move. What did we have, Kat? We had a niçoise salad.
Heirloom chilled gazpacho.
Yes.
And a banh mi baguette.
And we ended up, we kind of splurged today, and the banh mi baguette was definitely too much food, so that's going home with us. That might be dinner on the way home. Really, really just wonderful food. A little bit more than we're used to paying in La Paz. A number of different things here. One is they serve water to the table. They had some homemade bread, which is hard to come by down here, some really good bread. What else did they have? Oh, they had napkins. They had real cloth napkins that weren't the size of Barbie napkins. That is just one of the things over in La Paz and probably most of Mexico. Napkins are just these tiny, tiny little things made of paper.
Well, you have to remember that mostly we eat at roadside stands. And
yes.
This was a nice restaurant, and it was a splurge, and it was just fabulous.
Yeah, so the total here for lunch was $60 plus a propina. And next we'll be heading off to Tienda 17, which is a consignment furniture shop. Seems like one of the best places to buy furniture here in Cabo. There are a lot of places to buy furniture in Cabo, but looking online, it looks like a lot of them are very upscale because there's a lot of upscale homes here in Cabo. Okay, quick detour. It's Cabo, so I felt like I had to stop by a beach. We were starting to run a little bit low on time, but I just wanted to do this. It was only 10 minutes from the farm to this beach. I can't remember the name of it, but I'm sure it'll be on the screen right now. I don't have any cell phone service here. This definitely shows you the difference between Cabo and La Paz if you start to look at some of the houses here and how expensive they are. And the beach, I gotta admit, it is gorgeous. Like, it just keeps going, and it is such nice, white, soft sand. Definitely see why people flock to Cabo. And there's not very many people on the beach here. This is late December, so this is high season, and there is plenty of space on the beach, and people are in the water. The Pacific side of the peninsula is not really swimmable, but down here you can get in the water. It's not too dangerous. The historic area in San Jose del Cabo is impressive. This is really what makes San Jose del Cabo different than Cabo San Lucas, and really just sets the pace for the difference between the two. But there are a lot of stores that cater to Americans, and lots of people trying to pull you into their stores, which is something you just don't see in La Paz. Unfortunately, it seems like most of the historic buildings here have been turned into tourist shops and jewelry shops. Have you subscribed yet? Make sure to click the subscribe button and that little bell icon to turn on notifications so that you know when I release a new video. I feel like I'm being a little bit negative about the Cabos here, so I hope if you are from Cabo, comment down below and let folks know what is so great about living in Cabo San Lucas or San Jose del Cabo if you're over there. And I'll be sure to make another video highlighting some of the great things particularly about living in one of the Cabos. I might be able to connect with a commenter and maybe take a tour with you. And I gotta admit, I haven't spent a lot of time in Cabo San Lucas, and I haven't really gotten into the neighborhoods and away from the tourist area. Once again, if you're from this area, let me know where I should be checking out next. Okay, so after a couple of detours, we made it to Tienda 17. It looks like a huge furniture store, really cool stuff, so we're excited to see it for ourselves the first time and show it to you. And I did notice as we were driving out of San Jose del Cabo, we kind of found the more Mexican side of downtown. But compared to La Paz, the really cute part of La Paz is also kind of the Mexican part of La Paz. Whereas here, it's like the cute part has turned into the tourist district, and the Mexican part has just been pushed out into a less cute area. So in La Paz, it's really a mix because it is the state capital. There's a lot more folks there. There's a lot less tourists coming through La Paz, and it has a more local flavor to it. Okay, so we didn't find what we were looking for, which was outdoor furniture and some pendant lights for the house. But we did find these really cool ceiling fans that were just $100 a piece. And I said, well, you know, we could really put 3 in our house, but they're $100 a piece, not something we were planning on buying. But let's buy 1. So we went up, they came out, someone from the store came out and recalculated the price and said, oh, it's $50 because it's been here for 5 months, and so it's 50% off. So we ended up buying 2 ceiling fans and going back around the store looking for other things that we might be willing to buy now that the price had been much more reasonable. So if you're coming to Tienda 17, I feel like I need to do a whole video about this place because it's a little complicated. You cannot pay with credit cards. That was something we didn't see on the way in, but luckily, because it was only $90, we had that many pesos with us. And it was a little strange because all the prices were in dollars. But I guess that's, it would be a little tricky trying to translate when you got $800 items and things like that. So this place is really great if you need to furnish your whole house and you have tastes that are a little bit higher than ours typically are. So because there's really cool stuff at good prices for really cool stuff, but there's not, you know, kind of that lower end stuff that we're used to buying and that maybe locals might buy. This is really geared towards the houses here that are that are nicer than the way we're used to living. So the bad news about driving between La Paz and Cabo in the winter is that there's maybe 12 hours of daylight right now, and it's 2.5 hours each way, so about 5 hours is spent in the car, not a lot of time remaining. So I'm not quite sure how I figured that we'd be able to do so much more in San Jose del Cabo. I figured we'd do the farm tour and we'd do a couple of beaches. We'd be able to go to Costco, which is a big reason why people travel from La Paz to Cabo, is to go to the Costco. It's kind of a running joke here. And that we go to a couple of furniture stores. Clearly, we didn't accomplish all of that. The good news is we've got some friends coming in and they're going to be flying into San Jose del Cabo airport, and we'll be picking them up and probably spending a night or 2 over there. So we'll be able to do a lot more things with them, and I'll be sure to make some videos at that time. The most beautiful part of this drive is definitely on the Los Cabos and between Los Cabos and Todos Santos. And then we move a little bit more inland. And because it was getting dark around 6 p.m., we knew that we had to leave by 4 p.m. We were actually just a few minutes late on that. You really don't want to drive in Mexico at night, especially on rural roads or roads that you're not familiar with. And that's because on rural roads, you'll get livestock going to the road for the heat, and they're pretty hard to see. And also just topes and things like that you might not be able to see. And cars driving with no tail lights. So definitely not safe to drive on those rural roads. Also in cities, it's really hard to see the stop signs. So I'm really only comfortable driving at night, like between El Centenario and La Paz, and only certain parts of La Paz, because I know where the topes are. I know where the stop signs are. I know where the streets change from 2-way to 1-way in the opposite direction. So it is possible to drive at night, but it's much more limited. So definitely not going between 2 cities like Los Cabos and La Paz. So we just pulled back into our driveway. It's definitely dark. And I want to know from you, do you think I was a little too tough on San Jose del Cabo? Is there more that I should be exploring there? Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video.